It's been a priority ever since I've been governor when we're trying to get people back into the education institutions, when we're actually reforming K through 12 through community colleges to higher education, looking at how do you get people in those and we start training them for the workforce of tomorrow, what those demands are. And regardless where anybody comes from or where they came or how they got here, it's the idea of giving them a quality education to get them into the workforce. And again, I want to stress the idea of the workforce because I think for years the education institutions have kind of been teaching towards a college degree. That might not be the case for everybody anymore, and I think you got to look at people that's just getting out of high school, and what are you going to do to further education or their training through a training center, through community colleges or higher education. I think those are the things that we got to look at and make sure that we get everybody an equal opportunity to do that.
System is one of my priorities because there are many problems there, and there is no blanket fix for this. I have been all across this state. I've lived in Kansas City, I've lived in Springfield, lived in Columbia and Jefferson City, and now we're in St. Louis. And I have 5 kids of my own, and 2 sets of twins and 1 singleton. They're all 4 to 7 years old. So my first set have been in kindergarten and now first grade. But even before they went into school, you know, as a parent, you start researching the schools and where you live and talking to other parents about what's going on in the school system. And every city I've lived in has so many problems in their education system. You know, parents will say, you know, well, don't live in this area or move to this area because this school is better. And obviously, you know, Kansas City public schools are not even accredited. Springfields are going downhill very fast. Columbia is very liberal and push a very, very liberal agenda on the kids and don't even want the parents' input on things. And Jefferson City is also getting much worse, higher in the grades. You know, K through 3 were kind of okay, but after 3rd grade, it seemed like there were a lot of problems. So a lot of people are taking their kids out of public school and putting them into private school, or they're homeschooling because of these issues. You know, the public school system, in all the ways that it has issues, because they're so different, going into the school districts, going into the school boards and talking about with each one of them what's going on in their area to fix those issues is going to fix the systemic issues that you're talking about as well. Because what I believe is because the parents have been pushed out of the school system, we have all of these problems together, because now you have the school boards taking over with their authority, doing what they think is best, and they have pushed the parents out. So my point in going in to help them fix these problems is also to help them bring parents back in to understanding what's going on with their education system of their kids, the education of their children, but also being able to teach their kids about these types of issues, because the school system is not doing a good job. And it's really not their job to teach them these things. It's the parents' job. It's the parents' responsibility. But parents have been pushed out. So bringing the parents back in, and I think that's going to help go a long way with fixing a lot of those types of issues.
You know, overall, in a lot of areas of Missouri, we got some really good schools. In other areas, failing. And I really believe in community control over schools. You know, I'm a fairly recent school board member, but I am a school board member, so I know a little bit about their funding system. And one thing I would like to change, we've got a big problem, is schools are getting their funding based on average daily attendance from the state. And that's not doing anybody good. I'd like to see some kind of outcomes. And, you know, I'm not saying teach for the test, and I'm not saying, you know, teach your students based on what achievement tests are on. I'm saying we have to have a system that schools for doing a good job and helps the kids out to get what they need. So a lot of it starts at home with parents. So parents as teachers programs, pre-K programs, all those things are a great way to increase access to education and get folks started on the right path.